Hey bro, recently I've found myself going through a bit of a turbulent period in life, and I won't bore you with the story, but I'd like to share with you how I manage it so that it doesn't tear me off of my self-improvement journey, as it may you. Now, this recent turbulence has led to a lot of negative thoughts and ideas, but the main thing is dwelling on the past. Regardless of how small a mistake I make, or sometimes it's not even a mistake, just an irrational feeling about wasting my time, I'll find myself kicking myself in the head for it later. I'm sure we've all been here. Hell, you're probably here right now. No one is 100% alleviated from problems like this. It's all in just how you manage them. Notice I use the word manage rather than deal with, because that's exactly what you're doing. You are constantly managing these problems. Dealing with implies that it's one and done, that you simply can do it and forget about it. The only issue with that is that when you neglect it, it will come back and bite you in the ass pretty hard. Negative emotions, irrational thinking, biases, etc., it can all be looked at as weeds in a garden. They don't do much by themselves, and they're relatively weak on their own. A few will always sprout up randomly, and you can choose to ignore them, let them take over your garden, or you can manage them as they come in. Constantly be on the lookout for them and take them out, one by one if necessary. It takes effort to constantly be on the lookout, or to every day just go out there and start picking weeds, but if you just ignore it, you come back after a month or two, or sometimes even a week depending on the season, and you'll be overwhelmed with how many there are. So here's a new perspective for you. Treat your mind as a garden and the negative as weeds. That is a mentality from a man named Jim Rohn, a great speaker who died sadly about 6 years ago, I think. However, I've found great meaning in his advice, and the speech I paraphrased was actually from the 80s. I found that most of his advice seems to be evergreen, meaning that it will always be relevant to the times. Right now, it will always be relevant. It isn't some kind of trend or fad that will wither away. You might ask, well, how can I manage my negative thoughts? And to that I've released a video covering a very tried and true method that I've been using for years, really. You can check it out in the description if you wish. Something I might add that I did not discuss in the video is a concept called the feedback loop from hell by Mark Manson. You may be familiar, may not. Basically, the feedback loop from hell is when you start thinking about something negative from your past, right? And then you start feeling bad about it, and then you start feeling bad about it, right? And so on and so forth. It's like a never-ending cycle of self-loathing that can seriously mess with your mental health. Now, there are 1,000,001 different ways you can apply the feedback loop from hell. Believe me, I've tried it with nearly all negative emotions or situations that I can think of, and every time it slots in perfectly. There's a feedback loop for everything. I recommend picking up a book or watching a video on it, because it is a cognitive bias, and they're referred to as blind spots for a reason. You can't fucking see them. So simply having an awareness of, can do a lot more than without that awareness. But just try reading it so you can learn more on how to apply it. Now, the more relevant you make it in your head, the better off you'll be when you find yourself trapped in one of those situations. You'll be able to recognize it and change gears. It'll be a very helpful tool, and it has served me in countless situations, right? It has saved me in countless situations. I'll personally have a video covering it on my channel, and you can visit it on, my homepage. Just go to my channel, and I should have a video in the next week or so about it. But I recommend searching it up as soon as you finish this video. Hell, do it right now. I'll wait. Like, it's really important to understand, and I think it'll help you a lot. But just a quick pro tip: if you find yourself in the feedback loop from hell, remember how you talk to your best friend or your girlfriend. Speak to yourself like that. Never in a million years would you say the shit that you tell yourself to your girlfriend or bestie. If you do, then we're not going to go there. But you would be ostracized and burnt on a stake if you did. So when your girl or your bro messes up, what do? You try to help them. Right? You try to help them through it, or at the very least, sit there and be quiet, be sympathetic, and listen to them. Right? If nothing else, what do you do to yourself? Likely you dig in the scab, right? You make yourself feel worse and outline even more problems, which only creates more of an issue. Sound familiar? Feedback loop from hell. So, let's all make a commitment to break the feedback loop from hell. All right? Let's practice self-compassion, and after all, we are all living here on this rock, just trying to give our best educated guess as to what will make us happy and fulfilled. What do you think, bro? Have you experienced it? The feedback loop from hell? How do you break the cycle? Or how did you break the cycle? Have you broken the cycle? Let me know in the comments, like the video, and stay on task.